In this video, we'll go over materials in KRK2 and learn about the palette workflow, as well as how to use custom color mode. By default, Blender assigns materials to the object data of an object. This means that any other object that shares this object data will also have that material and color value applied to it. KRK2 builds on this by storing color and value information on the Keycap object itself, and recalls them using the color palettes. So more than one Keycap object can share object data and material, yet they can have different color values. Palettes A through D are used to control cap color, legend color, sub-legend color, and front legend color, while palette E is used to control the legend masks that mix between the legend colors. The slider position will determine which values are shown. You can also set your Keycap to custom color mode for even greater control. Before we move on, I'd like to cover the Capsmat values and what they do. The first two inputs are the Keycap color and legend color, driven by palettes A and B. Third is the legend mask, which mixes these two colors together. It's driven by palette E, which is currently populated by 4 white-on-black images. These images receive their coordinates from the object data. The sharpen legend value controls the amount of bleed that happens on the edge of the legend. You may want this for a dye sublimation process. As the name suggests, the legend weight controls the weight of the legend, and lowering the threshold will increase the thickness. Next we have the subcolor and submask, the sharpen sub and sub weight, which behave the same way as above. Then we have the front color and front mask, sharpen front and front weight. Following that, we have the Keycap roughness and the bump scale, which controls the grain of the bump. After that, we have the separate controls for the top bump and side bump to determine the amount of bump that we see on the top versus the sides. Finally, we have the legend seam, which creates a seam between the legend and the Keycap, and the seam width, which controls the width of this seam. Okay, let's go ahead and create a colorway using the custom colors and save it out for use in our next tutorial. Go ahead and delete those and load in an image. There, we have a poison dart frog as our reference. Okay. First, I will select all of the alphas, and let's go with a black and orange theme, maybe orange legends. Switch it over to custom color. We already have the black there, so let's just choose an orange. Look closely at this. Nice bright red orange there. And maybe take this down a notch. There we go. And hit set. So that sets it to all of them. Next, the modifiers. Go ahead and select those. Then let's go with a blue. So back over to custom here. Remember our active object. And I'll choose a nice sort of blue. Bit on the darker side there with our same black color that we had here. So go ahead and grab that, mouse over and Control C. Back over here, mouse over, Control V. That might be a little hard to see. Okay, brighten that up a tad. Okay, so I need to select these again. Select and back over to this guy and hit set. So there we have that. And for our accent, grab this orange, Control C, and go over to custom and paste it in. Ooh, that's bright. And the same black. Paste. We need to do our other accents as well. So select those, shift select the last, and hit set. There we go. We have our colorway. Not my finest work, but let's move on with this. Press A to select all and hit copy. So what this does is it stores the color information on each keycap for later use. One thing to keep in mind is some of these keycaps are actually sharing object data, as you can see up here, space convex. So when this copies into our JSON file, it will see these as a conflict and choose the first one. Just keep that in mind. So if I hit paste here, you'll see that these change color. Probably what I want to do is see the escape was first before this escape, so it kept the accent color. What we're going to do here is to resolve this, I'm going to undo and select only that and hit copy, and same for these, copy. And we can always fix our accents later once we paste it into the new file. Okay, so now that those are copied into the JSON, we need to export that JSON file. So I'll hit export and give it a name. Call it poison dart. There we go. Now we can recall this for our next video.